a man is ever mean to a woman, they get shot dead by the Joseph R. Brandon pro-woman, anti-man Gestapo secret police. They're forged in the fire of wokeite Marxist training to instantly kill anybody who isn't 1 billion% feminist. Recently, on Shark 300, the YouTube channel, apparently some of you haven't even heard me say my name before, but there you go. Recently on Shark, we talked about the failing business that is the misogyny machine of Fresh&Fit. How they were recently demonetized on YouTube for their extensive history of being just the worst human beings for money. They decided to take their show on the road, since they no longer can make money exactly where they are now, to Rumble, and while that's still floundering a bit, but some people may disagree. They were invited back on Tim Pool's program, Timcast, to talk a little bit about women, how stinky they are, how they ask for too much, and how they sometimes deserve less. And not only deserve less than less, maybe even nothing or less than nothing, the worst. Here's a little clip from that. We're going to be talking about a little bit of this over the next little bit, but I want to talk about this clip because it's been a little mini viral, and it's just so funny that I can't really sit here and let it pass by without passing some judgment onto it, because it's just that good. So I wanted to take a look at this, and what it is Tim Pool going to Fresh&Fit's School of Rizz. And let's just listen to a bit of it.
The men are saying, we want something different. We don't want the Instagram hoe that I can fly in overnight just to have a quick,
That is biology.
That's never happening.
This is a real opinion within right-wing space. I told you, okay? It's a real opinion within right-wing spaces that, like, your average college girl could get flown out by some multimillionaire or something to, like, Dubai or Azerbaijan or like to Cancun or Santa Cruz or something to go, like, sleep with him and, like, sleep with him and his boys or something, you know what I mean? Like, that's genuinely an opinion that a lot of them think. It's just divorced from reality. It's like they don't even speak to women anymore, and honestly, they might not.
That's biology. With all due respect, that's never.
Yeah.
No,
but hold on.
Yeah.
Like, go ahead.
I agree a lot with what he's saying. Imagine if women are only looking at the top 8, 9, 10 of men.
Yeah.
If these guys.
Okay, I hate this talking point because a lot of this comes from that OkCupid crap that got put out, where people tried to show half of it and say that women only care about the top percentage of guys. Here's one thing, all right? The vast majority of people on dating apps are men, all right? If you're just a guy on a dating app, the likelihood of you coming, like you swiping on, if you ever been like a guy on a dating app and you put like any reasonable amount of filters on and then you swipe for a little bit and it's like nobody left in your area, because no women are on any of these apps. Okay, for one, a lot of girls don't need them, and a lot of them are seen as like just kind of hookup apps to begin with, and there are more girls looking for full-time relationships than there are guys looking for full-time relationships. Really, a lot of guys are looking for something casual, and a lot of girls aren't looking for that as much. Right? So there's a problem with that as well. I met my wife on a dating app, but I realized that I got super lucky. I met my girlfriend on a dating app, and so I got super lucky as well. So I'm not saying that it can't happen, or that it doesn't happen, or that it won't ever happen. What I'm saying is there's a low likelihood of it happening, right? And you need to just understand that. I'm not saying that never use dating apps, but you need to go in with the right mindset and not put too much weight on it, and it to not be your only source of talking to girls, because if you do that, terrible things are going to happen to you. You're going to just hate yourself entirely, because you're going to feel like you're just selling yourself as a piece of meat than as a human being, right? And so if you don't get many matches, it's not just because you're just an ugly freak, loser, dumbass, and it's mostly because there almost aren't any women on there to begin with, and the ones that are going to be way more picky, just for the sense of just because they simply can, right? They're the ones, like, women are the ones choosing things on those dating apps a lot of the time. They're the ones who have the pick of everything, right? Like I've used my women friends dating apps before. Like I've swiped for them on Tinder before. Almost every 99% of swipes are a match. Okay. 99% of swipes are a match. And the girls who know that, they're going to start acting accordingly. They're just going to become more picky because they can, Why wouldn't they? They can, you know? And even if they would be less picky in public, why would they not be more picky on Tinder? Because they simply can, right? There's no reason for them not to be. If you were in the same position, you would do the same thing, right? You're just not in the same position because women in femininity are just more desired than just your average guy are. So, you know, understand that. And you'd probably have better chances actually just talking to people in public and finding other avenues and other ways to do that. But like, I don't know. It's just weird. It's weird stuff. But like the idea that all these girls are like Instagram hoes, and Fresh and Fit said earlier in this discussion that your average girl in college has like a double-digit body count, which is very real. Has had sex with like at least 10 people by the time she's like almost done with school or just done with school. It's just insane to me. It's insane to me. Who has, I don't know, man, unless you're not doing any work at all and you're just like super duper hot and super duper connected, you're not having sex with 10 people in school. Most girls aren't like spending their time sleeping with their entire dorm. Most girls are spending their time rotting in their room, and they stink in their room, going to class with rolling out of bed and going to class in their like sleeping wear that kind of stinks, and then actually taking a shower and then going to work. Right? That's 90. I promise you, that's what 90% of the women in college are doing. Like, they're not like sleeping around. Okay. And even the girls, even those sorority girls that you see doing TikTok dances on the clock app, they aren't sleeping around much either. They got like, I don't know, being mean to other women shit to go through. They have like dance practice with the homies. They're just not sleeping around as much as you really think that they are. A lot of those parties have a lot more guys than women there because women know that the likelihood of something bad happening to them is pretty high at like a college party. You know what I mean? So now what? I don't know. I just hate the idea that like women are getting rotted by, women's brains are getting rotted by Instagram, but not in the way that like Fresh and Fit wants to say, that inflates their ego. It actually is in the exact, like everything that they say about women in Instagram is almost the exact opposite of what's true. Like they're having lower self-esteem. They're thinking less of themselves. Their standards are dropping ever since, like, and when it comes to them being young. I mean, young girls, if you want to like know a little bit about young girls these days are like way more, young girls these days in like high school are like elementary school, middle school are more likely to be like assaulted these days than ever, have suicidal ideation more than ever, have low self-esteem more than ever. And things like Instagram and what these guys are putting out is what contributes to that. They're facing misogyny by their classmates more than ever. Like the fresh and fit Andrew Tate, like young like 10, 11, 12, 15-year-old boys are just like being completely terrible to them to try to put them in their place. Like young girls are experiencing really terrible stuff in school, and this meme is very real. Thank you, Marjorie. You're right. And it's really unfortunate. And it's not that they have inflated egos and think of themselves as 11s out of 10s, even though they're 4s, right? But that mindset is what's rotting their brains and making them feel terrible and putting them in bad situations. That's what actually is. Grindr is a cheat code for what? Getting sexually harassed and abused? Like, I don't know. We joke about like, oh, if you're a guy and you want attention, open up Grindr. Bro, you're going to be, listen, let me tell you something, okay? You're going to be judged, abused, treated like meat. You're going to have a terrible experience on Grindr, and you're going to feel there's a way more likelihood that you feel even worse about yourself after you close Grindr than before you opened it. Okay, I know we joke about that sometimes, but like I'm going to tell you one thing, that you're going to feel terrible. Okay, but also you can get dick. If we're talking to like straight guys here, like actual straight guys here, then they're not looking for dick. The most they'd be looking for is free ass, but probably not dick. Probably, I would imagine. Unless you're one of those straight guys who goes to like glory holes and tells guys to like pull up and then just stick their dick through, and you suck like 50 guys nuts out. Unless you're one of those type of straight guys, but you know, well, I don't think we're talking about those guys here at the moment. Grindr is stupid racist. It's racist. It's misogynist. It's yeah, it's pretty bad. It's worst. It could be the worst. Wasn't too bad in my experience. Well, I mean, count yourself lucky. Yo, one in chat if I have anybody in here with like a Grindr horror story. And honestly, you can tell us about it in the comment section of this video, because I'm going to tell you one thing. Yeah, there's a lot of people with like a lot of big grindr horror stories with like that get just treated terribly all day. I don't know. It could be like woman simulator. It could be social media woman simulator as well. So there you go. There's that. Oh, it could be, if you want to put yourself in the place of like your average like Tinder girl, who's on the app a lot. Well, there you go. You could be open up Grindr and then use it as just like, Tinder woman simulator. And then that's what like the girls get a lot of the time. So congratulations. There you go. Make sure to drop a comment and leave a like and share it as well with a friend.
If guys like you just started shaming women, do they, you know who's paying for OnlyFans, right? It's lower quality guys.
Yeah.
100%. Once again, Myron here. Has he even been shown yet? Myron hasn't even been shown yet. Where is he? He didn't pop up. But Myron here is like a sugar daddy. Okay? Myron is literally a sugar. Listen, being a sugar daddy is just rich OnlyFans, okay? It's just being a rich OnlyFans guy. The type of people that pay for OnlyFans are people who like, you could be like, oh, low quality guy. The type of guys who pay for OnlyFans are just guys who like porn. Okay? Those are like real guys. You'd be wildly surprised about the type of people who either have OnlyFans, do OnlyFans, or pay for some OnlyFans content. You would be very surprised about the type of people that do. Because like there are lots of people that with like rich, like what do you mean by low quality? What is high quality? What is low quality? Because I know like in this, I'm going to tell you this now, that all the guys in this room right here in this video, all of these guys think of themselves as high quality. Okay, Tim Pool thinks of himself as high quality. All right, he's got the sword and the gun. He's got like pictures. He has a podcast. He does YouTube. He's rich. He's been like written about in like newspapers before. He thinks of himself as high quality, like the Fresh and Fit boys. This man, okay, this guy who looks like a pug that got, wait a second. This man who looked like a cartoon pug getting squished in like a car compactor. All right. This guy right here considers himself high quality. Okay, wait, let me see. I gotta pull something up for you real quick. Okay. I found the exact picture I was looking for. When I saw him, I was like, wait, this is the guy. This is exactly what he looks like. Yeah, Tim. Tell me I'm wrong. This is your high quality man, okay? This guy who has to make up stories about like being with rich guys and being set up with like girl after girl after girl after girl to sleep with, the conveyor belt of baddies. This guy had like an all you can eat buffet on a baddie rotisserie. This is the guy who considers himself high quality because he has money and he thinks that he's got it going on. Does that guy sleep? I don't know, man. I've never seen somebody with like quadruple decker bags before. You can't do that. I've never seen someone with like quadruple bags before. It does look like he hasn't slept in years. Please go to sleep, Gar. He can't sleep because he's too busy chasing the bag. You wouldn't get it. He's making money in his sleep. He's working hard. This guy is like the poster child for insomnia. Anyways, you get what I'm saying? All of these guys think of themselves as high quality. But like, what is a low quality guy? What does that mean? And what's a low quality guy when it pertains to women? Because you know what I've noticed, one thing in all of these discussions, there's almost never a woman in the room that's asked what they actually like. And when they are asked the question, what do you actually like? Then there's like a guy there to be like, nah, that's not true. That's not actually what you like. That's not, I mean, like, do you have any girls in here you've had that happen to you? How you're either never asked what you like, or when you are asked what you like, there's like some guy there to be like, no, that's not true. You don't actually like that, right? And I've had that feeling come about before. I've never actually acted on it, but if a girl who's like, oh yeah, like girls who are actually into like dad bod guys, actual girls who are into actual dad bod guys, those girls are always told that that's not actually what they like. Where's Miss Allison isn't here because she's that girl. She's that girl. And other girls as well. Like they're just, They say what they like, and then there's some dude goes on like a complete screed about how that's not actually what they like and how they lie because one girl said that was a lie once before in their entire life, and it's just not. And it's just like, are you even listening? Like, do you even care? If that's the point, then why are you even talking? You know what's going on here? Low quality guy is someone that treats women like people, in their opinion. Yeah, treats women like people. Yeah, I guess. Yeah, low quality treats women like adults. That's true. Because women don't want to be treated like adults. They want to be treated special. They want to be treated like special babies. That's how women, they're babies, children, and they want to have sex with them. I guess, at least. They want to have sex with people who they think like children. Which I personally think is a strange thing to believe. They'll never say it in the same sentence, but that's exactly what they believe. It's quite peculiar, if I'm going to be honest with you. That is strange, isn't it? Because these guys will be like, oh yeah, women, they don't think logically, they think emotionally, they think like children. They have like lower developed like kid brains. They think differently and not as like strategically, logically as like men do. And so they think like children, and then they go on, and then in the next sentence they say, and then I want to have sex with them, and then like what you're actually saying is that you want to have sex with people who you think like children, who have like children brains or underdeveloped brains or like less developed brains or something, or who like are worse at logic. It's just weird. Fetishize purity equals youth equals kids. Yeah, they love it. They love the thing. They love the thing, and that's what they also love those girls who dress, maybe a little kiddish. They think it's feminine, super baby-like. Who knows? Curious, isn't it? Purity, 16. No, but they think 16-year-old girls these days have like 30 sexual partners. They're like, oh yeah, even young guys like in middle school, they can't even find like a pure girl these days. They're just crazy. These people are insane. Anyways,
women. If guys like you, just looking at the top 8, 9, 10 of men.
Yeah.
Oh, I haven't even gotten to that part yet. Like, okay, here's one thing. All right. On that OkCupid thing, it basically said that most women didn't think that most men were attractive. Here's the thing. Guys are less likely to take pictures. All right. Do you have any guys in here who haven't really taken like a genuine good picture of themselves in as long as they can remember? Like for a long ass time, and you've like dressed well and you've taken care of yourself in that time, but you just haven't taken a picture, or you haven't been with a friend or something, or somebody out there who's like, hey, can you take a picture of me right now? Guys are way less likely to do that than girls are. And so girls will just, even if we like look pretty similar, because I'm not going to sit here and be like, yeah, your average woman is just like so amazingly goddess level beautiful, and your average guy is a troll under the bridge. I don't think that's true. I really don't think that's true. I think there are a lot of girls who don't take care of themselves, and I think there's a lot of guys that don't take care of themselves. I do think that you don't have to take care of yourself as much to be a good looking guy, right? I don't, or like a guy that gets like, who can be recognized for like the way you look. I don't think you have to go as far as a guy. I don't think you do. I think there's like small things that you can do to like bump up the way you look way easier than a lot of girls do. If I'm gonna be honest with you, you don't have to learn how to do makeup to be a guy. Right? It's in a lot of places, and by a lot of women, it's looked down upon to know how to do makeup. I hate to say it, but it's true. So, like, not only do you not have to learn how to do makeup, it's actually frowned upon for you to learn how to do makeup, right? Like, you could just get a haircut and like wear chapstick and like wear washed clothes, right? And you can easily bump yourself up. It's pretty easy. Yeah, I don't take selfies. A lot of guys just don't, okay? And so I don't think it's like a lot of guys look worse. I just think, for one, women are pickier on dating apps, for one. And I don't think it's the idea that dating apps and being like overly online, and in the way in which we talk and think about people online is like really analogous to how we talk and think and look at people when it comes to actually meeting them in real life. I think it's just hilariously stupid. But if we're going to even like attempt to do this, yeah, women are pickier on those dating apps. Men don't have as good as pictures or bios. I think a lot of guys have trouble talking and like initiating conversation, holding those conversations as well. I think talking to people is difficult. And people are more atomized today than they ever have been. So you have less experience doing it, for one. It's just difficult being a guy. Like, let me be honest. Like, a lot of people don't want to say it. It's difficult being a guy. Okay. If you're a guy and you specifically want to be a more like if you like being seen and known as masculine, and you like to be seen and known as that sort of not necessarily traditional, but like the sort of typical role that a guy has with being like the initiator and like the leader, and you plan dates mostly, and you're supposed to be the one who's putting the first foot forward. That shit's hard. It's hard, and women can't do it. Okay, I hate to say it, girls. I love you. You can't do it. You're not good at it. All right. Like a lot of girls make fun of guys for not being. Women aren't good at it. They're not. Proof that women aren't good at it. Initiating, talking, leading conversation stuff. Proof that women aren't good at it. Bumble. If I have any guys in here who've attempted to use Bumble, lend me your voice. Okay, women fucking suck at like opening conversations and holding conversations. They're garbage and they're terrible. All right, it's genuinely awful, hilarious. Even if I was in women's place and I got the same treatment that like women say that guys give them on dating apps, I'd be picky as fuck too. They don't know how to talk. They don't know how to do it. Okay, I'm somebody who sends multiple. I send the type of messages on dating apps that you need to scroll to read. All right, on these big ass phones that we have these days, you scroll to read, and sometimes I'll send 2 or 3 in a row, and I'll get like the simplest loser ass answers that I've ever gotten. Or like, because on Bumble, girls have to initiate. Like women have to be the ones to start the conversation. I'll get like, hi. I'll get like, hey, oh, you're cool. Hi, sup? Like, what the fuck are you doing? Who are you? Do you have a personality? Yeah, it's just like, they just suck. They fucking suck at it. So it's not like a guy thing that's like bad, because women fucking suck at it, and they're not like societally pressured to get better at starting conversations, because mostly they're societally pressured to just kind of sit there and wait for a guy to say something, unless they just specifically don't want any guys to say anything. Then they have to learn to find ways to make themselves unapproachable by men, or at least mostly unapproachable by men, because a lot of women soon realize that no matter really what you do, you're not really ever unapproachable by men. To men. Really, give me something to respond to. They suck at it. They're ass. Okay, women, they don't know how to initiate. They can't do it. They can't do it. I don't know what to say, but they can't do it. So like, it's not like a guy thing. Guys get the shit end of the stick when it comes to it, mostly because we're the ones expected to actually do it. But it's hard. It's hard being the person who starts stuff, who puts your heart on the line. A lot of girls don't have to do that. They just say no. Or they say, oh, thank you, but I'm not interested. They stuff like that. Or they have like another way. Or the stress that comes from those situations is like finding a way to say no that you think has the lowest likelihood for you to like get, beat or something. You know what I mean? Right? It's a different type of stress, but it's not the type of stress that you have to go through when it comes to initiating. It's difficult. I think if your average girl tried to be in like your average mid guy's life, I don't think they'd like it. I don't think they'd like it at all. Me saying that it'd be like super easy, right? I don't think so. I don't think they think that the life would be like crazy easy and super simple. I don't believe that's true. We all have real problems, right? I just don't think that I don't think that they would just find it easy. I don't think they'd be like, oh, this is the easiest life I've ever had. I would never want to change back. I don't think that's true at all, especially when it comes to dating and being lonely. Like, and I know this is a fact because we've seen something like this happen when it comes to like trans men. You've seen a lot of trans men come out, and when they're in their transition, they realize and they come to understand what a lot of guys are going through when it comes to the loneliness. I've seen the type of like masculine loneliness that like trans men feel like they need to abide by to be seen as men in society, like lead them to fucking tears, right? And I don't know any more of an outside experience. I don't know how you can get any more of an outside experience on what it's like to be a guy like that than that, really, right? And your average trans guy is just like your average dude, really. They got the inside secrets, right? Yeah, they have the inside, and it's like transphobic and misogynist and misandrist to say that like trans guys are just like better men than like cis guys are or something, or they bring part of the woman with them, so just quit it. Quit it. Thank you for saying this because I feel like a lot of lefties have been trying to gaslight me when I try and state the opposite. No, it's hard being a guy, and it's hard initiating, and it's hard doing all of that stuff. And anybody to tell you differently is either doesn't have any experience actually having to try to appeal to people because they were just born pretty, okay? Or they're lying to you and they're delusional, okay? There's only two options. Either there's somebody who can't teach because they've never had to struggle in this ballpark, or they're delusional and they're trying to lie to you by lying to them, or like trying to lie to you, or just lying to themselves and using you as a conduit. It's one of those things. But there's no ifs, ands, or buts pertaining to that. End of story. I don't have secrets because no one liked me as a girl either. Oh, you love to see it. Based. There's a saying that no man is an island, but that's exactly what we expect men to be, and it sucks. Yeah. To be an island, self-sufficient, not have anybody. Yeah, it sucks, right? And guys get conditioned into that. This is why the sewer slide rate is so high. A big reason for it. No community. Big reason for it. If you want guys to be better, give them better community. Guys have like no community. They have no community, no friends, nobody to talk to. Really, a lot of the times. That's a big reason. They're completely disconnected and they think that's what they need to do to be like guys, or they've been conditioned into it, or they don't know how to express their emotions, and they don't know how to fix it either. It's a big reason for it. Anyways, back to the video. Just so you know, we're like 20 seconds into a 54-second video. If you want to know where we are right now. Listen, I talk, okay? I'm a talker.
If guys like you just started shaming women, do they? You know who's paying for OnlyFans, right? It's lower quality guys.
Yeah, 100%.
So yeah, that's what guys. Have you ever thought to? Especially have any women in chat. Have you ever thought to yourself and you're like, man, you know what I need in my life? I need more men to abuse me. More harassment. All these wokeites are sitting here and they're like, oh, stop harassing women. What women need is more harassment. Men need to be more mean to them because women don't experience meanness from men anymore. Because if a man is ever mean to a woman, they get shot dead by the Joseph R. Brandon pro-woman, anti-man, Gestapo secret police. They're forged in the fire of wokeite Marxist training to instantly kill anybody who isn't 1,000,000,000% feminist. It's true. Women have honestly forgotten what it's like for men to be mean to them, So maybe that's what they can finally put them in their place. Because women, they don't have fathers. I've never known a single woman with a father in my entire life. They just don't exist. At this point, I'm starting to think that women just get born. Women are born from the latent femininity of other women. As women exist, they exude femininity from their bodies, and that femininity kind of clumps up and balls together and pools up in spaces that women kind of exist in, bathrooms, bedrooms, spaces where women are kind of schools as well, just places where women are a lot. And so then that balls together and that forms women from there. Because women just don't have fathers anymore, and so that's they have to be born from other women instead of men, because the fathers, they aren't there, right guys? Least online right winger. So true. That's how women are formed. It's real. It's true. They don't want to tell you that. But it's true. Anyways, what are we talking about? We're now 31 seconds in.
Lower quality guys.
Yeah, 100%.
So if high quality dudes who got really nice watches and pull up in a Bugatti and this.
Yeah, that's what makes a high quality guy. Watches, Bugatti. So true. I got my Bugatti. Why don't women like me? I got my Bugatti. Right? I don't know, man. It doesn't seem like you're looking for girls who want to settle down. It sounds like you're looking for girls who want to sleep with and get gifts and nice things from men who have a lot of money, and not girls who want relationships and to settle down. Because here's the thing, okay? Let me be honest. The one thing that'll get a lot of these guys to think, is that if they had a daughter would they want their daughter to date someone who's like them? Think about that because like that I've heard that asked to only just so few of these right wingers. But I think it's such a poignant and important question because would you really want your daughter to be to experience and be like in a relationship with a man like you or a man like you used to be when you were this age? Because I feel like a lot of them want to say yes, but I think they know in their hearts they would say no. I think in their heart they would say no, right? Because Sneeko was asked this question once and he said, oh yeah, totally. But the more he thought about it, the more he realized, wait a second, I'm not the type of guy that I would want my daughter to date. I'm not the type of guy I'm not the type of guy that the woman that I would want to raise, I would want her to be in a relationship with. Because they're not good people. They're not good men. They're not good to women. They're not good to men. They're not good to anyone. They're bad people. Bugatti. I love my Bugatti.
This meme is very real.
Thank you, Marjorie. You're right. It is real. It's too real, in fact. They know they're dog shit people. They're all betas. True. They'd abuse her. True. My dad straight up told me men are evil and he's a right winger. Well, right wingers, they of course they believe that because they believe in like the cruel world fallacy that everyone is evil and everyone's out to get you. And so you need to get yours and say fuck you to everyone else. I got mine, fuck off. You know, that's why they act like that. So it makes sense of why they would say something like that. And they're like, oh yeah, guys are never trust a man, even me, you know, type thing. Yeah, they think everybody is as heartless and evil as they are. So, of course, a lot of the times it makes a lot of sense that why they would think something like that. I feel like the average woman who dates men gives so little of a shit about watches. Mind you, Fresh and Fit live in Miami and want to date and fuck girls who just got out of like Miami Tech or whatever, or like Miami University, whatever like big colleges are there. These guys like creep around college campuses to scoop up like 21-year-old girls to try and sleep with. So obviously, if you're like a really young girl, you wouldn't have the biggest. Usually, you wouldn't have the biggest sort of like, I want my next relationship to be my lifelong husband. More likely than not, you're not thinking that as like a 18, 19, 20, 21-year-old girl. The likelihood is incredibly low because they want to date girls, not women. Women don't fuck with these guys. Remember when Myron talked to like one woman on like what DJ Academics bullshit, right? That fucking like ugly losers bullshit, right? Remember when he was talking like DJ Academics shit and he had like a one-on-one with some girl and she completely ate him out. That's what happens when people like Fresh and Fit interact with women. Okay, they want to interact with girls. They want to date and fuck girls. That's their thing. Low experience, low knowledge, girls who won't put up much of a fight because they're too young to know any better. That's what they want. But don't they buy their girls pretty much anyways? Yes. That's why Myron's a sugar daddy. And that's why they have to pay girls to show up on their show because they don't know how to get women to be around them outside of like waving money in their face like catnip. Yeah, of course. They live in Miami. A place known for things being super casual, and look for girls who look for casual stuff and be like, I can't believe all these girls want such casual stuff all the time. Debate girls on a college campus. Yeah, they literally just spend, most of the women that they spend time with are only there because they pay them. Yeah. So yeah. Listen, what girls are looking for in men, especially long-term partners, is so much different than what girls are looking for when it comes to short-term partners. Yeah, girls care more when it comes to short-term partners about like abs and money and like a being tall and shit like that because they're just looking for fun, right? So they go to the guy who's the most like physically fun. They wouldn't care too much about anything else really outside of their own personal safety. And you know, some girls, they don't even necessarily put the highest premium on that, and that needs to change. If you're listening to this and you know who you are, that needs to change. Okay, we care about you, dumbass. So like, those girls are usually looking for something way more superficial, shallow, and physical because they're looking for something superficial, shallow, and physical, like something casual. But girls who are looking for like long-term relationships, like these guys would try to like tell. Well, actually, I'm not sure if they would even try and say that you should look for a long-term relationship with modern women, because I don't think modern women can like handle relationships or are looking for long-term relationships or something. But anyways, right? Like women looking for long-term relationships, looking for something much different. They care more about kindness and sincerity and like having a nice smile and just being a good person and being supportive and being loving more than they do about how much money you have and how fast have you driven your Bugatti and how like expensive is your watch and how many private jets do you own and how big is your YouTube channel. They care way less about that type of stuff, mostly because they're women and not girls.
Woman's like, yeah, I want to come hang with you. And he goes, so yeah, what's your body count? And he goes, how dare you ask me that? I don't want no hoe in my car. And he takes off.
Yeah.
Now she's embarrassed. She got shut down. And more women are going to say, if I want a high value man, because only the guys are going to come after me are going to be high value.
So maybe
let's
flip
be real here.
Maybe
Okay,
we're going to trade.
No, they would just lie about how many people they've slept with. Why would they? What was it mean? You just lie. Like guys kind of learn to do when they're looking for short-term relationships with women, they just lie about their height or their dick size. Girls, you should just lie. I mean, girls would just lie about how many people they slept. Like, how are you gonna prove that? Well, you think you can look inside of her pussy and then you can see like the rings for the rings inside of her vaginal cavity, and it can tell you how many. You can read it like a tree stump to see how many guys that she's been with. Like, no, you can't. It's not true. I can smell it. Yeah, you can smell the previous boy cum that was in there. Not the pussy rings. Yeah, a lot of girls think that they can lie to you when it comes to how many guys that they've slept with, but it's actually untrue. And they can't lie, because all you need to do is look inside of the pussy, and the pussy rings, there will be a ring for each like dick that's been inside of her. And so you can easily tell how many people that she slept with at any point in time. Yeah, true. It's true. The woman understander has logged on. The cum layer. Yeah, it's like sediment. It's like archaeologists trying to find like the Mesozoic era. You know what I mean? Just dig down a bit, and there's like oh, there's the Jamal layer. You know how it is. Easy Rizz. You can. The woman understander has logged on. So the Jamal era. Yeah. That what they call it for glaciers? Yeah, like the cum seals itself to the walls, and then you can easily be able to tell. It's very easy to tell. It's very easy. A lot of women don't even know about this. So that's how you can tell. Just don't make it a scene if you don't want to tell them. Don't let out the secret, okay? So if you see the pussy rings, just like if you see the cum sediment in the pussy rings, then just like be like, oh, I gotta call, my dog's dying, I gotta go, my hamster got stuck in the dishwasher, and then you go home and then you like delete her number, okay? Don't do anything crazy. Don't let out the secret, okay? How else do you think that we're able to get? How else do you think we're able to sort out the baddies, the Puritanian baddies in this evil environment? Yo, what's good, Shark? What the fuck did I walk into? Operator Emma, advice from Shark. What do you think of asking sexual partners to provide STD testing? I think it's based, but most people tell me that's cringe. They just think it's cringe because they don't have STD testing, and they lie about it. That's why they say it's. They want to dissuade you from saying that because they think it's because they don't have it, or they don't like giving it because they have an STD and they don't want to tell you, or they haven't gotten STD testing and they just think that they don't because they don't itch, and their like dick doesn't drip sweet and sour, so they think that they're fine. That's why. But you should like, it's fine, like it's okay if you like, I couldn't care less if you don't, but like it's not like a bad, it's not a bad thing. Don't let people lie to you and tell you that it's a bad thing because they're lying to you. Okay, bestie? And you should, listen, I'm going to tell you this now. Anybody who throws a fit about you asking for STD testing, don't have sex with them, okay? Leave immediately, because that boy is like a bug catcher Pokemon trainer, okay? They've got bugs, all right? They've got insects crawling all over them. They're trying to infect you with their bug juice. Don't do it. Your shit's gonna be dripping sweet and sour if you do. So, be careful, okay? But yeah, craziness. Yeah, I don't know. Like you guys, we're high value guys here.
Started shaming women. These guys, if guys like you just started shaming women, do they? You know who's paying for OnlyFans, right?
Just listen. Shaming women need more shame in their lives. That would totally be what doesn't. Yeah, I bet. Even though we're not really having that much sex. I would like you all to understand, we don't really have that much sex. People don't have that much sex. They really don't. Guys have more sex than girls do, right? And even when you account for the usual amount of lying that we would expect on these types of things, because there have been studies that found that out, then get like a ballpark estimate for how much people lie on this. Yes, women usually lie down and men lie up, but men typically lie up more than women lie down on this type of thing, because guys usually see it as looking worse on them for not having that much sex than girls do for having like some sex usually. But like with that being said, women just still have less sex than guys do. And this comes into like a little bit of a theory, and I'm going to be like expanding on this sometime later. And you guys can tell me what you think about this theory. I think most of the bad guys that women have experiences with are guys that lots of women have lots of experience with. And what I mean by, and they have a lot of experience with women. What I mean by that is it's really difficult for a lot of what I've seen and heard is that it's really difficult for a lot of young girls to be able to differentiate, especially when they have just a little bit of experience with men, to be able to differentiate a guy who's being cocky versus a guy who's just confident, right? So the type of guy who couldn't give a shit less about them and can, come at them and seem super, forward. If they're like the type of like kind of like traditional like feminine girl who likes guys to be, not aggressive, but forward and confident and like leading and that type of thing, then it's hard for them to kind of differentiate those type of guys, like the narcissistic, maybe even like sociopathic, cocky, shitty guys, from like actual just confident guys who know what they want, know what they're looking for, and who are comfortable with themselves. It's difficult for them to figure that out. I think that a lot of these guys, and if you look at people who do crimes, like the guys who commit crimes against women, what's one thing that you can almost always guarantee when it's a guy who's like done a crime against a girl? All right, what's the one thing that you can guarantee is that there's not just one victim. It's not just one girl, right? It's almost never just one girl that they've done something terrible to. It's multiple. It could be like 2 or 3 or 5 or 10 or 50, but bro always has a rap sheet of abuse, right? Like they never just do one. It's just a crazy amount. It's like the PDFs that cops find. You ever think to yourself, like, why do PDFs never have like a reasonable amount of illegal content? And there's never a reasonable amount of like illegal content for a PDF to have. But what you mean is like, it's never like the amount of porn that like a normal person would have around. It's not like 10 videos or something. They have like, they have like an entire warehouse that they bought to hold their servers to have like 30 petabytes of like illegal content that they've stored up, right? It's always a history. It's always that. And so what I think is that a lot of guys, and I've been hearing this from a lot of guys, and me myself, like me personally, before I met my girl, I was about to give up on dating entirely. I was about to like delete all my, petabytes. Oh my gosh. I was about to delete all of my dating apps and not really go outside really ever again for as long as I can just like put more time into my channel and do like 10-hour streams, 12-hour streams, 13, 14-hour streams every single day, and make content every single day, and just stay in my basement all day, every day, and just rack up money and then buy cool things. And that's how I was just going to live my life, right? I was just going to give up on, I was like, I don't think I was ever going to find anybody who's, at least as I am at the moment or something, I would like that I'll find somebody who's like cool or that I'd work with relationship wise. So I was just going to give up on doing all of that entirely and just focus my time on just, I don't know, making money. And that would basically be it. My life would just be like, ooh, I'm joking. I'm sorry. It's getting late. I would just be, I don't know, streaming, making money, hang out with my friends at bars sometimes, playing games, and that was just basically it. And I feel like a lot of guys who weren't lucky enough to meet someone before they went down that path are doing that as well. I feel like a lot of guys are doing that as well. And you can tell me if you're watching this and you've done that. In chat here, you can tell me if you guys have felt that way as well. Like, especially men, where you're just like, well, I don't think dating is for me, I guess, because no one likes me and no one wants me. So I might as well just put all of my time and effort into my career, and maybe one day when I have money and I'm older, somebody would want me, some girl would want me by then. But until then, it doesn't look like I don't want to suffer like rejection forever, right? It's happened before, and I think a lot of guys are doing that. And I've heard a lot of girls say that they're like guy friends, or if you know any, or you have any guy friends who are doing that. I know a lot of girls and a lot of people just generally have said that a lot of their guy friends are doing that. A lot of guys say that they're doing that as well. I don't think it's a good thing to do. It's a really unhealthy thing to do. You should seek professional help if you can, or talk to somebody. You should do that. Right? It's never good to isolate yourself like that. I'm not saying it's a good thing, but what I'm saying is that it's happening. And a lot of those guys who are considering care about women, a lot of them aren't just like running up to every girl in the street and trying to rizz the fuck out of them. Okay? A lot of guys just aren't doing that. A lot of guys who actually care about women just aren't doing that. Right? But the guys who don't are. And it's just like at some point in time, they're going to run into some girl who's, desperate enough, unexperienced enough, or they were able to trick hard enough into getting close to them enough for them to abuse them again. I just think a lot of the guys that do that, a lot of the men that girls have experience with that are abusive, it just seems like it's just like a couple guys who just, well, no, I don't want to say like a couple guys isn't trying to, like a couple guys is in like, oh, it's just like 5, right? There's a lot, there's like 50% of the population is men. Just a couple is like millions, all right? Tens of millions, even. So I'm not gonna try and say that, oh, it's like nobody. It's a whole lot of people, right? And they're being born every day, and they're dying every day too. But with that being said, I don't know. I just sitting here and trying to invent more guys to abuse more women doesn't seem like something women really need in their lives. It seems like better men who treat them better, and men who know how to treat themselves better is what we all need to make this situation better for all of us. But we never get there with people like Fresh&Fit and Tim Pool, because they never really cared about that to begin with. They're lost. They're lost. Too much money, too little brain power to make a good point. Hate to see it. Come here. Come here. Oh. Hi. Oh, sorry. I didn't see you there. If you're enjoying the content, hit the subscribe button. If you don't, it'll make Boo very sad. I know a bunch of you who are watching are not subscribed. Join the frenzy. You won't regret it. Thank you, Boo.